guess fine. I could just go through this whole thing again. Uh,
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Ah, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not. I would be perfect.
Oh! Wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry. Paimon... Oh!
A friend?
Oh, so you're... Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the traveler. We just...
It is an honor to, and as required by.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor.
Ah, Mr. Lee.
Wait.
I sought. Allow me to introduce.
Whoa!
No offense taken. And by the way, there's someone sitting. I believe she is trying. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later.
Huh?
Very good. That is for the best.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the...
All right, please.
Yay! The show is finally about to start!
before I start it, I'm gonna go
Ooh,
get
they're dimming the
something
lights!
to
The
drink
show must
and
be
eat,
starting!
and I will be right back. I promise you guys. Let me just... Yep, okay, be right back. Just look at Nuvalet for like 5 minutes. I will be right back. I promise. Okay, chat. Got Farina's favorite food or dessert. I will eat it once I...
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny.
Don't care.
And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone. Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can... Both Lynette and myself have removed our...
Oh, good boy.
Now, without further ado, I know you might miss her, but don't worry. Oh, and you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye.
Okay, chat, meeting up.
A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Hyman didn't see him do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
What a
If
show.
we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Hyman couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've
Bro, boy.
prepared even more astonishing surprise. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow. Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Now then, let's begin.
Chooses me, doesn't it?
Oh, let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything if the magic...
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all, like this, 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be... Come on, repeat after me. 60.
60! 59! 58!
That's right, perfect.
54? 53? 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervous?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something.
40! 39! 38! Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's working.
25! 24! What's wrong, Mr. Linney?
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my...
19! 18!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What? W magic trick. W magic trick. W magic trick. Up here. Up here. You have to go up here. Come on. I knew it! I knew something would go wrong!
Huh? Is this part of the show?
No.
Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of Justice.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
Bro, I bet the girl died. Did she die? Okay.
Unfortunately, the
One person
person
died.
who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead.
I knew it!
His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Okay.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
Justice for
Can't
Lenny.
be right.
Justice for Lenny.
He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an
Bro, this
accusation
is
against
not the
Mr.
freaking
Lenny and his
courtroom, bro.
associates?
This is the freaking
and that
opera
you are
house.
pressing charges?
I just think that I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
Bro.
I mean,
I know she's
of
like the
course, my
Hydro
dear
Archon, but like you
that's
can't
what excites
always listen
me
to
even
him.
more than the obvious truth.
Even
That's
gods
right.
make mistakes,
I
bro.
mean, you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? There's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and just...
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been... Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights.
Bro.
But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a
Personal
moment,
freaking...
I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Lenny's attorney and defend him in this... Very
Same.
well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Lenny and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
Okay.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? Good to hear. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Where'd you get those glasses?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
Bro,
Don't worry,
she looks like
Paimon
she's from
used
like
her
a
own
90s
savings to buy
movie.
them. It
No,
wasn't
no,
from
like
her
a
travel
freaking
funds.
like
I think they look cute
1900s
on you.
movie,
You
or
have
not movie,
good
like
taste,
short,
Lynette.
whatever show. I don't know.
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching, good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lenny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our trick... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours, but if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth, we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime...
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case.
Like those glasses, though. The glasses.
Hello, officer.
Oh my
How's
God,
the
she still has them
investigation
on.
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Huh? What?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole
Fireproof rope,
incident was
then.
intentionally
Or
planned,
rubber rope or something.
and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends?
Well, you can't say we're good friends.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
You can use the case record to confirm your current evidence and clue collection, so the situation, case, blah blah blah. You can check down discovery evidence, case record, and investigate, blah blah. Then so this will advance your overall progress. Okay. Cease identity. Okay.
Go ahead, have a look around.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team the seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her... The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearance.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Bro, I just wish Paimon could just take that thing off. Like, bro, he's been wearing it for 10 years. No.
So this is the rope that broke and cut. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look. This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant a... Wait, why don't you write all this down?
The special rope. Is this a special rope? Sorry. Okay.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about...
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it...
Random number selector, okay.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's all right.
The box.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and...
We don't have too many The thud?
Yes, exactly. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with baited...
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion when the pyrotechnics...
Wait, was...
Perhaps the balance wasn't... Oh, that's true.
That does...
Okay, climb still. No, I can't. Bruh. Can't go back there. I do. Okay. Okay, got everything around here. So here.
Lenny's still talking to the guard. I think someone will be assigned to... Lenny's still talking to the guard. I think someone will be assigned to...
Why would it be... We serial disappearances never got solved. We all heard that noise. This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That, combined with this number selector, could allow you to pick a young lady instead of some old fogey. Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations. Why would it be?
Lenny's magic trick.
Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're both after the truth.
Why would it be? Gosh, we all... Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to This rope was... People needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That, combined with this number selector, could allow you to pick a young lady instead of some old fogey. This rope was obviously tampered with. Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. Gosh, no wonder the serial disappearance... Why would it be? Gosh, we all heard... Gosh, no wonder the serial...
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
Hold on, chat 1 second.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not
all merely trifling. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. Judging from the look of things...
Really? We think so too, but how did you come...
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence. But that's not Anyway, a trial...
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial?
Well...
And why would that be?
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. No matter how wonderful, and if that can be done...
All right, that now.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Hmm? Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to... You wish to save a friend from
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations. Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then.
How can you be so
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. All right, thank you for your help. This will be useful info. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see...
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine. Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from...
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given the back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned See this flat? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right. You were talking...
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only...
So that's how it all worked!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around?
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Okay. Yay, I love investigating. Did you bubble, did you bubble, did you bubble, did you bubble?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley not...
That can't be.
Okay. Clothing.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really
Bro.
need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
First, I'm gonna go here to the live.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon... Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are...
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low. The guards have checked.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges? And
that's right. This is how that's right. This is the statements from both sides. To put it simply...
This also precludes any kind...
Once both sides have... Then, finally...
Huh? So that machine...
In practice, there is... yes, the...
Huh? What?
Because we've chosen...
They're concerned, and even if that were not...
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, there's no need...
Of course. I just hope you don't...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together. I mean, what better way to properly think through our
Huh. Breaking out, so... Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come...
Wait, you're carrying a portable...
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon, from the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process, but you ended up doing the...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern.
All right, then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also... The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was...
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance, resulting in the shattering of the vase, perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense.
True. None of the clues we found, but the only...
Could Halsey have seen...
That's right. And even if she had to, nor does she have any motive.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are...
They are my
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides,
I'm sure.
Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, Demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really...
Well, that's it for snacks. snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what... It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help!
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Okay.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult...
Huh?
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else decides,
Thanks, Navia.
best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your
To be honest,
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly...
Since both parties are present, firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could...
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus...
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
Objection.
In fact...
That is simply your hypothesis.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your
Objection.
box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course.
And you didn't hear any...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was...
Huh?
hey, hang on.
That loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could... Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, what did...
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow first. When the thought are these claims true? Please answer my...
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the...
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your...
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? In that case, my dear audience...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry,
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon just knew it. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the words, but our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective ideas, that's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything... Right. You met a Fatui, but still...
Sorry.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer.
Of course. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's Huh?
Go!
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Okay.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw. Seem... Seems...
What?
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey. Linny did not take part in the underground Linny went to the room that contains the...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that!
In other words, you believe that he knew...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him!
And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course, you're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon... That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's what this means. That the same clue.
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third Halsey is the missing person. The deceased's name is
Huh? That can't be...
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would... The sound we heard may... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So... No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So... Where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The sound we heard may have come... It would have been tough for both... The deceased's name is... The sound we heard may have come... It would have been tough for both people... No one entered or left... Halsey's clothing... No one entered or left the The sound we heard may have... No one entered or left... The sound we heard may have come... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The sound we heard may have come from a... Halsey's clothing... The sound we heard may... Halsey's clothing... The sound we heard may... It would have been tough for both people... Halsey's clothing was a...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why, just like the trick...
If only we knew...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel... It's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real life...
Excuse my
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Hall... The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. The vase was not...
Paimon gets it! Lynette escaped from... If there's a...
Oh, just a moment, please. How could a person ever be transformed? Magic tricks are...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention, but given that we aren't making...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help. Guards!
We are still examining the items, but we discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. Each label. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also in... The notebook has many... One of these tubes was labeled... The notes also state that the... As such, we believe...
You've gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just try...
Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic. Guards, please continue examining the items along these... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is support...
Of course. Think, if we uphold this hypothesis...
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The water from the primordial... The water from the primordial... The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. The water from the primordial... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead... The deceased's name is Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Cooking. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm cooking.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, afterward, Cow burnt!
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is his notes mentioned he had an...
On that note, I shall now invite him on stage to share...
Thank you, Your Honor. And we found...
What?
That can't be. Does this not, my dear citizen? Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as... Am I right, Mr.?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the...
Oh no.
Seems I think we've all... I believe this is indeed... Now then, my...
excuse me,
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh.
What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't... But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a Come on, Linny and Lynette. But, as the magic makers and stars of the...
I understand.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so, I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew...
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one...
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede, so I played I wasn't going to take... There was nowhere to... I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the Opera House.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Pretty clear now.
This time, we need to... The strange sound... The flower vase was not... Lillian was a...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open. Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was mistakenly believing that the two broke the With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now the light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina.
I...
Please answer the question, Lady Farina.
What? Are you reading? No. I have no further...
Wow.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank. He poured the water from the primordials. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, while there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the prime...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity—
And now that your plan has fallen through, and therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which we've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Winnie...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after, I guess. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire— As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting—
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began. To my surprise, before long, and
So you went from orphans to nobility just like—
that was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say, but he would constantly take me to all sorts of
That doesn't seem too bad.
After one particular I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet. So
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal—
as far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And I managed to all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in—
So, she'd already taken care—
That's right. Father, I mean, the knave. The House of the Hearth welcomes you. For your interest, I was hesitant to trust her. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plan. She has gained permission.
So, she believes—
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel to us orphans.
So, from small
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can if you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to
Bye, Linny!
Yay.
Huh?
Try and get done with this act and be done with it, bro.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, and
I see. Well, I won't lie. Sorry.
Don't say that.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new water. Wait, should we—
Huh?
Well, Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist mine.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Yay.
When the sun...
Out, babe.
For you. Never mind, not for you.
In sunlight.
Okay, well, I guess that's
But when
what
the
I said, boys.
moon's out, bathe in moonlight.
See ya, boys. Hope you guys have a nice day. Be safe out there, and peace.